exterior spaces, but you've got to think about what you love and how that is connected to your age. That's right. You're seeing a difference in what people want depending on what generation they are from.
Scary, isn't it?
It's very interesting. It's almost like a little bit of decor psychology here happening. So we're going to start with the boomers.
Yeah, we'll start with the boomers. What we know right now across the country is there's really three demographics in the housing market. And those three demographics have very different wants when it comes to outdoor spaces.
Right.
So we'll start with the boomers. They were the gardeners. I mean, 80s, 90s, they loved their gardens. They were the garden club people. They had perennials. And this was a perfect example of how they'd sacrifice their own outdoor usable space. And it was all about the plant beds and the lawns and all that. The baby boomers now are changing their mind.
Okay, so that's the after of that
they still love
space.
plants, and this is one that I did for a baby boomer family. Husband and wife, kids were gone, and they're like, we want less work. We still love our plants, so give us a great big patio so we can entertain our family, but we don't want to have to care for all the grass. And they're making those decisions, and they're choosing low maintenance materials to invest in their outdoors. Baby boomers are also picking things like composite woods. They're actually saying, you know what, I'm going to put composite woods into my space. It's going to last 25 years. I'm never going to have to do another thing to look after this. And then I'm going to sell my home for more money. And they're being very smart about it. Another thing that we're seeing with baby boomers is, you know, the types of backyards that really have no personality, and they're moving into townhouses. So they're actually selling the big family house. They're moving into these townhouse spaces. They're inheriting these backyards that are just boring. And they're saying, not for me. I mean, I'm a gardener. So much of my outdoors is connected to my lifestyle. So they're taking spaces that are just plain. And I think we have a picture of one.
We've got a picture of one right now. So you can see, you know, the recycling bins are there. There's a little bit of green, a little barbecue. This is a before shot.
Very common all across Canada. New builds where the garage is separated from the house, and there's this little pocket backyard. Baby boomers are buying these houses.
And this is what they want done in them.
And this is what they want done. Yeah, absolutely. So this is another project I did. Baby boomers are moving into communities saying, you know, these communities are my new friends. And I want to be able to entertain my new friends. And I've chosen this house because of these communities. We're seeing adult lifestyle communities all across the country popping up. And that's why boomers are moving in. The kids are doing their own thing. I now have, you know, a good 25 years ahead of me that I want to be social. And they're choosing spaces to do just that.
Lovely. And we've got one more before and after that we want to show, which would be maybe a typical boomer space.
This is a rooftop. We're actually seeing millennials moving out of condominiums, out of the downtown core, and boomers saying, I'll take that. And boomers are buying these spaces with rooftop balconies, and they're wanting, you know, to extend living space because they're sacrificing on square footage on the inside, but they're turning their outside into dining rooms and outdoor spaces. So that's one I did for, again, an older couple who said, you know what, all winter, we're going south. We don't want to be here, but in the summertime, we want outdoor patios, outdoor spaces.
Lovely. Okay, so if you're confused and you're thinking, am I a boomer? You know if you're a boomer or not. If you're born before 1963, you would be in that category.
In that zone. We kind of blend the lines
It's hard to get the actual years. Anything you look up, there's sort of like a bit of a range, and then there's some of us on the cusp. So we are moving into my generation, which would be Generation X.
Mine too.
Yes, yours too, both of ours. So born between 1963 and 1980. What do we want out of life?
So Gen X is very unique. Gen X is a very small population. We're not a big group. But we spend more money than anybody.
Yeah, that's right. You better respect.
Absolutely. We have the attitude that we earn the money. We're going to spend it to hire people to do the things that we don't want to do. And when it comes to backyards, Gen X has actually pushed the national average from about $35,000 to up over $65,000 for a backyard renovation.
Wow.
This year alone, I have more than 7 clients wanting to spend $250,000 plus.
On their outside?
On their outdoor spaces.
Oh, wow.
I know, and everybody's groaning and saying, oh, no. The logic is they're not investing in second homes. They're not doing the cottages or the mountain homes or the oceanside homes because they're so expensive right now. So they're saying, you know what? I'm not going to invest in that. Instead, I'm going to dump the money into my house and I'm going to make it shine. And I think we have an example of somebody's house who wasn't shining too much before we started to work.
Would you just leave me alone about my awful backyard? This was actually a good shot of the before. Like the before was actually, it looked like a graveyard. There was just, we'd be like, kids, don't go out there. Don't do it. Carson came along and we said, easy. We want a place for the kids to play and not have to worry about them going into traffic, but easy. And that's, I mean, I love my yard.
And you basically said to me, we want it to look as nice outside as it does inside our house. Make it a true outdoor room, but you didn't balk at the money. You said, I want to spend the money.
No, we just said, don't make us do anything.
the one thing Generation X is kind of getting wrong right now,
Yeah.
and it's partly because of the magazines and the media, is this whole outdoor room concept. They're taking pillows and stuff from the inside outside. I want to make sure people are very clear. Don't do that, because as soon as pillows get wet, indoor pillows, they might dry in the sun, but molds are forming underneath. And Gen X is falling victim to that more than anybody else.
Okay.
So let's talk about the last group.
Okay, so let's talk about millennials. So born roughly between 1980 to about 1995. So this would be a good example of a before, you know, regular house in any urban city right across the country that you might get.
And millennials are gravitating towards houses that look different.
Yeah.
They want character homes. They don't want to look the same as everybody else. And part of the reason is cell phones.
Okay.
First thing a millennial does when they buy anything is take a picture of it and share with all their friends.
Right.
They want to share a home because it's a big thing.
It's a big deal. It's a big purchase.
And they want to look cool and they want it to be unique. So millennials are investing money up front where they're trying to do it themselves using online DIY. And we have an after of what a millennial would look like for that particular space.
Okay, so clean.
Clean, simple,
Lovely.
but character. It speaks to their lifestyle. I mean, it's very modern, but at the same time has personality. In the backyard, the exact opposite is true. In the backyard, they want to do it themselves using pallets and skids and everything off of Pinterest.
Right.
And the one thing that millennials are getting wrong is when you're going to put a pallet in your backyard, make sure you know where the wood's coming from.
Yes.
Because in Canada, it's heat treated, but in the US and Asia, it's treated with methyl bromide, which is a neurotoxin. And more millennials are growing vegetables in their backyard with pallets. So,
Careful, careful, careful.
absolutely.
This is so good.
Yay.
Our decor psychologist, Carson Arthur.